for the most part, this will be a big picture, a deep dive into the behavior. So to get started with this, again, these sayings are all in English, but I do know you have very similar sayings in Dutch. So here we go. Sayings like level-headed, calm and collected, well-rounded, nose out of joint, bent out of shape, stuck up, getting off on the wrong foot. When you hear these, in North America, I hear people using these expressions all the time, and they're not related to horses. In people's minds, they're talking about the behavior of people. But all of these sayings have their history based in our ancestors interpreting the behavior of horses through their body language. That is a stuck-up horse. Stuck up meaning the head is held up very high and the back is hollow. And as many of you know, if a horse spends a lot of time in that frame of body, they get stuck there. So all of these expressions, what our ancestors saw was that the frame of a horse's body and how they move their body, literally expressions like getting off on the wrong foot, that the horses were genuinely communicating their feelings and their behavior through how they use their body. It's so cliche to say body language. But when we talk about body language, I would imagine most of you here have seen things like you walk into a barn, and as you walk down the barn aisle, there'll be horses hanging their heads out over the gate with their ears flat back in anger, threatening people that walk by. Is there anyone that hasn't seen that? Hasn't seen it? So that's a very common body language communication coming from horses in their stall with their ears flat back in anger. Why? Why? Here's another one that many of you have seen. Someone leads a horse into a horse trailer, and the horse willingly goes into that trailer with no hesitation whatsoever. It walked in beautifully, but then it came right back out. Now, we're all intelligent people. If you apply some critical thinking to this, you have to ask yourself, why? It's not logical that a horse who would be willing to go into the trailer suddenly changed its mind and came out of the trailer. Something happened inside that trailer that caused the horse to come back out. Another one. So these are patterns. We see things. We often see the horses in their stalls with their ears angry. We often see horses walk into trailers willingly and come right back out. Another one you often see, riding. Someone's riding at the walk, and they ask their horse to go up into draf, up into the trot. You've done this. You start going up and down, maybe 2-3 strides into it, you look down, and you go, oh shit, I'm on the wrong diagonal. And you sit your 2 beats and change. You all know what I'm talking about, right? Now that happens to so many riders so often, there's something going on. How can it be that an educated rider who knows their diagonals keeps starting out on the wrong one and then a few strides later changes it when they realize they're on the wrong one? So why? When you see patterns of behavior in both humans and horses, why? And this evening we'll look at all 3 of those scenarios and many, many more. Why? But I want to emphasize to begin with that the behavior, it's so cliche to say body language, but that's how they are communicating. So that horse who has its ears flat back as you walk by its stall, it is angry. Ears down is angry. So why? Why is it angry? Why'd the horse come back out of the horse trailer? Why is it riders who know their diagonals are so often starting out on the wrong one but then need to change them? And when we look at why, when we start to explore why, here's the science of behavior. You see a pattern, the scientific process as a behaviorist. You see a pattern, it's clearly there, it happens a lot. You observe it, you observe it. You might develop a theory as to why you think this is happening, so then you start setting up an experiment, and sure enough, you find out, oh, that's why. And so now you have some new information. When I was starting out with horses over 40 years ago, when I was in my early 20s, back then, if you wanted a career as a horse trainer, what you had to do was pick a discipline and compete. And if you were very successful at competition, that's how you would prove your credibility, your competency, so that people would bring you horses. And I did not grow up with horses. I did not grow up in a horsey family, so I wasn't sure which discipline, which one's for me. And I started experimenting from discipline to discipline. I went from the racetrack to heavy draft horse driving, to Western ranch riding, to working cowboy in Nevada. Then I switched and started going into the English disciplines, looked into dressage, looked into jumping, looked into endurance riding, just all these different disciplines. And as many of you know, each discipline thinks they've got it all figured out and the other disciplines don't. Disciplines in the horse industry are kind of like religions. But there was one common denominator between all the disciplines. A cowboy who's into reining does not want to listen to a dressage rider, and the jumpers don't want to listen to anybody. But there was one common denominator among all of the disciplines: behavior. It didn't matter what breed of horse or what discipline the rider competed in. Did their horse bite? Did their horse buck? Did their horse run away? Did the horse allow them to pick up the feet? Would their horse stand still for mounting? Would their horse go in the horse trailer? Was their horse hard to catch? Did their horse have no whoa? Did their horse have no go? All these behavior problems. It didn't matter what breed or discipline. Could they get the correct lead when they asked for the canter? So the only common denominator amongst all these disciplines was the behavior. And what I found as I pursued, let me back that statement up. What I decided is I'm going to focus on behavior instead of a competitive discipline. Because I was curious about behavior. And I was also thinking, well, from a business perspective, I'd have a lot more business if I was a behaviorist that could work with any breed for any discipline instead of just one breed for one discipline. Sure enough, fast forward, that's what happened. And as I started observing and studying and theorizing and experimenting with horse behavior, I found it is very true what our ancestors came up with, that a horse's body is directly connected to its mind. The frame of body is the frame of mind. So this is an oversimplification of a statement, but here it is. If you're not happy with the horse's behavior, you need to know, how do I shape it differently? Think sculptures. How do I shape? I would not want to ride that horse at all. That would be a very hard body. And in terms of the body, when horses are holding their head up like that and their back is hollow like that, the different shapes affect their physiology, their biochemistry. That horse would be flowing with adrenaline. I'm going to jump ahead to body language. If you read the body language in that tail and you read the shape of that horse's back, that is a guarded horse. Guarded. It's not quite sure. I'll go into more depth in all of this a little later, but if that tail was more curled, the horse would be calm. If that horse was closer to the hindquarters, that horse would be frightened. If that tail had a little less curve in it and was stiffer pointed on the angle, that would be anxiety. That tail will change and become more curled or more stiff depending upon how the horse is responding to its environment, whatever is influencing at the moment, be it other horses, other animals, people, somebody lunging it, somebody round penning it. I don't know what happened to its ears, but my guess would be if it had ears, they would be down. So, frame of body, moving forward, frame of body is frame of mind with horses. And what happens is very often it's our bodies that are influencing the horses' bodies in how we lead them, how we ride them, how we drive them, how we load them in the trailer, how the veterinarian draws blood, how the veterinarian or the farrier, the hoofsmith walks up and meets a horse for the first time and pets them. One of the things we're going to look at this evening, I think it's safe to assume everyone in the audience knows what I mean when we say there's a horse in the canter and it's on the wrong lead. There's a correct lead. Right lead to go right, left lead to go left. So we all know about horses being on the correct lead at the canter. We look at a rider and say, oh, they're on the wrong diagonal when they're posting in draft, or the correct diagonal when they're posting in draft. But what you don't hear people talking about is the human being on the correct lead or the wrong lead. One of the things I'll be demonstrating shortly, there is a correct lead, a correct diagonal stance in your body to pet a horse, to pet them. I'll jump ahead and say why so many horses have their ears flat back in the stall and why they're so angry as people walk by is because they don't like how people have walked by and petted them. So our body language is often sending signals to horses. They're reading our body language, and the signals we send are causing them to go into shapes, to move their body. So it's one or the other. Either the signals that we send to a horse cause the horse's body to go into a frame or a shape that produces a good chemistry. How I pet this horse has it flowing with oxytocin and endorphins. How this person is petting the horse has it flowing with adrenaline. And we all know this expression, conditioned response, Pavlovian response. Ring the bell, feed the dog. Ring the bell, feed the dog. Ring the bell, feed the dog. Ring the bell, dog salivates. They see the pattern. You've developed a conditioned response. So many horses have a conditioned response that when human beings come around me, it's not good. I don't feel good. I think one of the mistakes that people make with horses is people think the horse is thinking about misbehaving. The horse is thinking about doing bad or undesirable behavior. When in fact the horses aren't thinking, they're feeling. They're at the effect of their chemistry just like we are. We're at the effect of estrogen. We're at the effect of testosterone. We're at the effect of adrenaline. We're at the effect of oxytocin. We're at the effect of cortisol. We're at the effect of endorphins. We're affected by it. So are they. But what they know is that when people come around them, our body signals going into their body, causing shapes in their body, don't often feel good. Many of you probably read the little article that was posted in the newsletter, and I talked about the child loving the kitten. That is the analogy to go forward with this evening. Just substitute child and kitten for vet assistant, veterinarian, and horse. That just because you love the horse doesn't mean it loves how you pet it. While the child is loving the kitten, the intention in the child's mind is honorable. The intention is honorable. In the heart of hearts and in the mind, the child wants to love the kitten, but how the child is using his or her body language is causing stress in the horse's body in the kitten's body that starts producing adrenaline. And the kitten doesn't like it. So the kitten bites or scratches the child drops the kitty, child says, bad kitty. We say, it's not a bad kitty. You need to learn how to show your affection in a more empathetic and user-friendly manner with your body language. The same thing is happening with people and horses. So, I'm going to have to keep checking my notes here because I've got a lot of ground to cover. If there were to be one word that I would use to define what it is we need to be able to do for the horse, facilitate for the horse, whether you're a veterinarian, a hoofsmith, a massage therapist, a rider, a trainer, a riding coach, if you were to pick one word where all this starts, it would be balance. Physical balance. And when we start to go there, the first thing we want to look at is how the energy flows through a horse's body when it's moving. So many people know, you've heard this theory about biomechanics, that ideally energy to go forward would start in the hindquarters and move forward through the horse's body from back to front, start in the hind end and work its way out the front end. We're told from the classical principles of riding, that's the ideal way biomechanically for a horse to go forward. And I would agree that it is. But in nature, they have both. There's basically two ways the energy flows, back to front or front to back. When you look at this picture of this horse with its head down in the bucket, a horse could have its head down eating grass, and biochemically, physiologically, when that head is down and the vertebrae through the spine are stretching into this long and low frame, that horse's chemistry feels really good. They're happy campers when they're down there. Now, at any given moment, if there was a sudden disturbance in the environment, a sound, a movement, that horse would take its nose, and its nose would come up first. It would begin in the head, and it would come up to a hollow back, and it would look in the direction of the disturbance. I'm going to turn and face the audience twice. Once is going to be through my body, and my face is going to come to you last. This is my body turning, bringing my face with it. It started here in my core, and the last thing to come and face you is my face. We could call that a body up to head movement. This time, this is my nose first. This is just my head going, and then the body coming after it. In nature, horses do both. They oscillate all day long back and forth between back to front movements and front to back movements. Back to front movements produce the chemistry that feels good. Front to back movements produce the chemistry that does not feel good. Front to back movements cause horses to go out of balance. Back to front movements cause horses to more likely be in balance. Now, the problem with this is how often humans are causing the nose to move first. Causing the nose to move first. We hear things when riding horses about how we're not supposed to pull. And what most people translate not supposed to pull into means, well, don't be aggressive jerking on their heads. But that's not good enough. I mean, don't be aggressive, don't jerk on their heads. But you could be poetic, you could be artistic, you could very flamboyantly move the face first. And no matter how delicate we are about leading the nose first, if we're leading the nose first, we are throwing the horse out of balance and we are causing stress. We are triggering an adrenaline flow if we're the ones causing this. And I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. So there's two energies. There's two ways the energies flow. It's either back to front or it's front to back. And when we're working with the horses, we have three energies we work with, and there's only three. I challenge you to find another energy. The three energies are pushing, blocking, or drawing. My body's about to push forward to the audience. There's forward pushing. This hip is going to push laterally over there towards the cameraman. This is pushing. This shoulder is going to push to the audience. This is drawing. Pushing, drawing. This shoulder's pushing you in the audience. This shoulder's drawing you. Drawing is when you pull the plug out of the tub and the water goes through it. The third energy is blocking energy. A closed door is a blocking energy. An open door becomes a drawing energy. Those are the only three energies: pushing, blocking, and drawing. But I often use the analogy of a clutch, the coupling in a car. There's only three elements to that. Your right foot on the gas pedal, your left foot on the clutch pedal, your right hand on the shifter. There's only those three. But everybody here knows some people are better at that than others. Some people, when they shift the gears, it's... And sometimes people shifting the gears, they stall the engine. They pop the clutch and ooh. But going forward, that analogy of the clutch is critical. Because here's what it is. Our three energies of pushing, blocking, and drawing work together in synchronicity like a clutch into the body of the horse. Our push, block, draw goes into the body of the horse to shape it. And if we shape it well, it feels good. So here's the conditioned response that horses get. When Mary shows up to lead me or ride me, she's pretty good with her clutch into my body, and I feel pretty good, so I like Mary. When Jane shows up to ride me, she's not so good with her clutch, and my body doesn't feel so good when Jane rides me. I don't like Jane. A horse's behavior can be directly related to how you make it feel. How you make it feel is how you use your push, block, draw. It's that simple. It's just not easy. So the child loving the kitten, there's only three energies: push, block, draw. It's happening to you now. As you're sitting in the chairs, gravity has you pushing into a chair and the chair is blocking you. I'm leaning on this desk. I'm pushing into the desk and the desk is blocking me. Those are the only three energies. But just like with the clutch, it's very easy to get those three energies mixed up and miscommunicate with them. And when we miscommunicate with them, the horse's body doesn't feel very good. So we have these three energies: push, block, draw. They go into the horse's body. And an oversimplification would be this. Our job, whatever context we have around a horse, whether we're the veterinarian or the riding instructor or the hoofsmith or the massage therapist, the horse trainer, a competitor, ultimately you could say it's this. I have to make sure that I use my push, block, draw to make sure the horse has a relaxed back that is never inverted, and that every time I create bending or flexing or turning, that the horse's nose would be the last thing into a turn. That's kind of tying together what I've talked about so far. Making sure the nose is the last thing into a turn. Now, I'm going to demonstrate something. Probably one of the most cliche expressions you hear in the horse world from dressur: inside leg, outside rein. Everybody's heard it. Inside leg, outside rein. Blah, 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 blah. And unfortunately, not many people actually know what that means. Denise, could you come up here and be a horse with me for a moment, please? Denise is going to be, hopefully not a cranky mare. Could you face them, please, Denise? And could you put that in your hands? So Denise is the horse. And Denise, I'm going to pull that rope through you and even them out. Let me take a little of your right. Let me just slip the rope through your hands, please. Sorry, there we go. Now, first thing to talk about is contact. We hear the word contact all the time. I should preface this. I said I was going to try to keep this about essential handling, and now I've already jumped ahead to riding, but just as one example to make a point. We hear the word contact all the time, and there's basically two types of contact. One contact is pulling contact, and it doesn't have to be aggressive. This is the right rein telling the face to come right. This is the left rein telling the neck to straighten. Right rein pulling face right, left rein straightening. Don't do that. She's already hollowing her back. She's doing this from that. Now, why not to pull? Pulling is causing the nose to move first. Any pull, even if it's delicate, 1 gram of pulling the nose is causing it to go first. And you can relax your arms for a second, Denise. Nose going first is the body language of fight or flight. Nose going first is designed to produce adrenaline for fight or flight. So people who lead noses will cause problems that they need help fixing. And it's not just riding. I'm going to come back to this in a second. Can you go ahead and just hold that? Maybe face the group. I'm not picking on veterinarians, but I saw a veterinarian just last week go to lead her own horse, and she did this. She pulled it forward from the nose. So this is the problem. We know theory, and then we don't put it into practice. This was a veterinarian back home in Canada, and I had her out to do a Coggins test for my horse, and I watched her. It was my horse she was leading, not hers. And she took the lead rope, and when she wanted the horse to move, she initiated movement from the rope on the head. Now, if I asked her theoretically, with all due respect, doctor, where does impulsion theoretically come from in the horse? She would say the hindquarters. And then I would say, well, then why the hell are you pulling the head to go? We just do, without any thought. Just go. Stop and come to me.
Sorry.
It's okay. So we have to stop pulling the head. Number one, if we get anywhere this evening, I'm not just talking about aggressive people jerking on reins. Don't initiate movement head first. The purpose of a right rein is not to pull the head right. The purpose of the right rein is to provide blocking energy that disallows the head from going left when you don't want it to. This isn't going to pull right. Up there is the horse's face. Her fists are the mouth of the horse. Denise, try to go left, bumping into blocks. Denise, try to go right, bumping into blocks. Hold your horse is the oldest saying in the horse world. Hold your horses is the oldest saying. Hold your horses. This is pulling horses. And this, try to go somewhere, Denise, is holding horses. Some of you may have seen, you can stay here for a moment, okay? Please. Some of you doing your research have probably seen an illustration from back in the old days at places like the Vienna Riding School in Austria, where they would tie a horse between two posts, like in cross ties between two posts. And then the dresseur master would be back here with the little whip saying, walk into that. And the horse tied between two posts would go forward from its hindquarters, plug right into the contact, may I? And connect so that its face is plugged right into two ropes. And here's why they did that. Even with these highly trained dresseur riders, they started their young horses with the post. And there's a reason why. One, posts don't pull. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Posts don't pull. Posts also don't release unless you cause it to. So, we don't want the horse to lead movements with its nose. One way the horse leads movements with its nose is the rider pulling the nose. Now the next one's going to offend some people, and I'm sorry, but here it is. The illusion of nice. I don't want to pull on my horse's face. I don't want to be a control freak pulling on a horse's face. Don't pull on the face. But not pulling doesn't mean throw these away either. Because if you throw these away, now this horse is free with its head to look at every little distraction in the environment. And a horse looking at every little distraction in the environment is an attention deficit prey animal looking for the next problem. It's neuroses. And it's guaranteed to build adrenaline flow very fast. When you're riding a horse and you have totally loose reins and it's doing this, it starts coming up. And the next thing you know, you've got some behavior problems to deal with. Now, blocking energy in reins. Let's talk about that cliche statement, inside leg, outside rein. I'm not going to pull her head right to go right, and I'm not going to pull her head left to go left. Her body, I'm going to ask this horse to bend around an inside leg. Bend around my right leg. In fact, Denise, for your balance, can you put your left leg forward, put weight on it, bend your right hip. Good. And your head's going to try to come into the right, and she's bumping into my left block. Because she's bent here, it curves the whole body, and the face wants to go right, but the face can't go right because I've got the left rein. That's my outs, inside leg, outside rein. Now the outside rein in my hand is also in my elbow, is also in my shoulder, which is attached to, can you go forward, please, Denise, into my hand a little more? Thank you. Go ahead and put your leg forward and bend there. So when it's time for the turn, I'm going to turn from my seat. My shoulders redefine that outside rein. This outside rein is all the way up to here. So the head went to the right to turn right, not because I pulled the face into the right. Let's come back. But as I bent her in the middle of her body, the ribs go out, the shoulders flex, then the neck, and the last thing in is the nose. If we are true to this old classical principle, go ahead, Denise, of inside leg to outside rein, and that outside rein is in our hands, is in our arms, is in our shoulders, and we're turning through our body to turn the horse, what we're doing is making sure the nose is last into the turn. Inside leg, thank you, Denise, to outside rein is all about making sure the horse moves from back to front and that the nose is the last part of its body into a turn. I should have programmed this thing to not lock me out so easily. Here we go. So, definition of a hold our horses is that with your contact, make sure that the nose is the last into the turn. Marika, could I ask you to come up, please? Could you please draw a folded horse and a bent horse? The number one issue with horses is people leading the nose, whether it's on the ground, just taking them for a walk, or it's in the saddle riding them. Again, it's the nose going first when it needed to be through the body, and the nose coming last. And what happens when we lead the nose first is the horse, I wonder if those are going to be big enough. Yeah. Could you make them a little bigger, please? When we lead from the inside rein, instead of bending in the back, the horse folds its neck at the shoulder. It's a fold. Now, if you think of the energy that's supposed to be flowing from back to front coming through the horse, think of that energy like water. And water is channeled in rivers and riverbanks and canals with blocking energy. The riverbanks never pull the water where to go. The riverbanks are channeling the water as boundaries. The canal is channeling the water with boundaries, which of the three energies is blocking energy. This horse is bending through its entire spine. Now, if you think of water coming through, may I have the marker, please? The energy can start in the back and work its way out the front. But when horses are folded at the neck, and I have to say, there's way more of these in the horse world than there are these. Way more of these. The energy that's trying to come forward from back to front gets stuck right there. If you took, there's a hose right there on the wall. If you took a hose with water coming through it, and the hose was loopy, bent like this, the water could flow. But we've all done this. Everyone in this room has had a hose, and you fold it, and you cut off the supply of water from flowing through. In fact, maybe a little bit will dribble out the front. So this horse is going forward, but not very well, because of this acute fold here at the neck. Now, when the neck is folded, it's for one of two reasons. Either the left hand pulled my head to the left, rider caused it to happen, or the right hand, right elbow did not have a boundary, had no connection, had no contact, and the horse did it all on its own, and the rider allowed it to happen. Caused it to happen by pulling on the inside, or allowed it to happen by not holding it on the outside. Marika, would you draw, please, a level horse, and a hollow horse, and a round horse? We're going to look at the three fundamental areas in horses' bodies where they're getting stuck. And these are causing all kinds of breakdown issues. The number one that we're going to look at is the hollowed back. When the back, horse, not moose.
First, hollow.
Yeah, horse, not moose. I'll demonstrate with this as Marika's drawing them. So there's the tail. There's the nose. For all intents and purposes, we'll call that the level-headed horse. Now, the level-headed horse, consider it to be in neutral. But when it drops its back and lifts its neck, that is the frame of fight or flight. That is the physiology of adrenaline. And there's lots of things that cause this. A horse does this all on its own in nature. There it is right there. But it is a sign of stress. It's a sign of distress. The hollowed back is the number one issue because the energy that's supposed to come from back to front, I will break this whip if I try to drive this hindquarter forward. When the back lifts and the neck levels out, now the hindquarters can go forward. So there's these different top lines of the spine. Level is neutral. Hollow is blocking. Then there's round in the back with the head long and low. There's round in the back with the head up round and high like the dressure horse or the reining horse. Round backs feel good. Hollow backs feel horrible. Number one is the hollow back. And what's happening a lot, is the combination of these two. The hollow-backed horse with the folded neck. This and this is the number one issue in the horse world. This is such a problem. This will lead to everything from ulcers to kissing spine. There's a lot of symptoms that come from this. Blown out hocks, sore everything from being hollow and folded. Now, again, horses will go into these frames all on their own naturally, because it is important to remember that a horse naturally, as a prey animal, packs a lot of anxiety. One of the illusions in the horse world is that the natural horse, I've worked with so many wild Mustangs out of America, and I'll tell you what, wild horses, they're not happy horses. They're so full of stress and anxiety. They're all bit up. They peck at each other because they live with this constant neuroses of, is it safe? 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 A round back, up and round, level backs, hollow backs, round or level backs bent in the middle feels good. Hollowed backs folded at the neck feels bad. Sometimes horses hollow and fold all on their own. A lot of the times horses are hollow in the back and folded at the neck because of people, because of how we're handling them. There's a third of the three major blocks that are happening. And that happens up here in the neck, in this area, right in around there, up in the second cerebral vertebrae. When a horse, again, if there's the tail, right up in here they twist. They can have a body bent one way or a neck folded one way, and then twist C2, the head, the other way. They do that twist on their own, but by and large, that is mostly caused by riders' hands. And one of the things causing that with riders' hands, when people are riding, they go into a right bend, whether they do it with their leg or their hand, but then they're straightening with their hands. It's a big problem. I've coached Olympic riders who, when I say bend your horse, they put on the leg. And then when I say, I do this as a test. We're standing there in the middle of the arena, getting to know each other. Bend your horse. They do use the leg. And the horse does bend around it and the head comes in. Good. Straighten your horse. And they pull this rein. They don't use the seat and leg to start the straightening process here. There aren't many riders straightening with legs. They're straightening with reins. And that's a front to back movement. And if I'm bent or folded here, and then you go to straighten me with the reins, first is C2 twists. That happens. And that does not feel good at all. Not at all. So, again, frame of body is frame of mind. And it does come down to this, how we use our body and our push, block, draw into their body is either feeling really good or pretty good or feeling really bad. So, moving along. Here's a quote you've all heard. When you get bucked off, you got to get right back on. You all heard that one? You've also heard this quote by Einstein: to do the same thing over again and expect a different result is the definition of insanity. And those two quotes just contradicted each other. If you get bucked off, you need to know, how am I going to use my body differently to shape that horse's body differently so that the different shape feels so good he doesn't want to buck me off? Good riders can stay on a bucking horse. A great rider doesn't cause it to buck. Yeah. Some of you would recognize the name Buck Brannaman, very famous American cowboy, natural horseman / horse whisperer. He just last week put out on Facebook a post saying he used to think that you needed to be a great rider to ride a bucking horse. And he has since learned, he said this, I've since learned that if my horse is bucking, I have failed to give it what it needs. That's a big step. It's a big step. Good riders ride bucking horses. Great riders don't cause them to buck. And if a horse is bucking, it's one thing to say, do you have the courage to get on that horse? It's another thing to say, do you have the skill to stay on it if it tries to buck you off? But it's another thing to say, do you have the knowledge to understand what needs to be done differently? What are you going to do differently? And differently means, why did that shape in that horse's body want to buck you off? Obviously, it was stressed. And how are you going to use the push block draw out of your body to create a shape that feels so good the horse doesn't want to buck you off? Talking about bucking off or getting back on, what's happening a lot in the horse world is the difference between theory and practice. This is all theory. We're just talking this evening. And the horse world has become more educated about the biomechanics of the horse. Theoretically, there's a lot of people in the room that know, quote, how a horse should go, what it should look like, how it should use its body. But what's missing is how we use our body to facilitate that. It is one thing to say a horse should go from back to front, from inside hind to balance on its outside forehand. It should come through its body with relaxation, and its neck and nose should be the last thing to flex into a turn. To understand those biomechanics of the horse is one thing, but what's missing is how our biomechanics either do that or sabotage that. It's one thing to have an idea of what it should look like. That would be an outcome. But how do I use my body within a process to get it there? Now, here's what I mean about that. Earlier I said it's a mistake when people just let the reins go loose. Well, not necessarily. You can ride without the reins. You can. I can on my horse. But that would be an outcome to a well-delivered process. They don't just ride without contact well because someone wants to be nice and ride without boundaries. That's not the way it works. So there are, I believe, 3 stages to a horse's development. Number 1 is training. Number 2 is schooling. Number 3 is self-carriage. Now, here's the analogy I use for training, schooling, and self-carriage that everyone can relate to. It has nothing to do with horses, but it's a similar process. A child learning to ride a bicycle is on a 2-wheel bicycle with these little training wheels in the back. And we all know that the training wheels do not propel the bike forward, and the training wheels do not steer the bike. One of the earlier statements when I started was balance, balance, balance. It's about facilitating balance. So those training wheels on a child's bike are about balance. And as the adult sees that the child can ride this bike now and is no longer bumping into the training wheels. When you think of the 3 energies, push, block, draw, the training wheels are blocking energy. The kid's legs push into the pedal, but the training wheels are just blocking energies that prevent the bike from falling over. Once the child has balance, the parent or the adult mentoring them can take the training wheels off the bicycle. Now the child can ride the bike without the training wheels. So we could say now that child has transitioned from training into schooling on the bicycle. Practice, practice, practice. And when the child gets really good with a lot of practice, then the child can let go of the handlebars and ride with no hands. That's self-carriage. The child is so well balanced in the seat on the bicycle, I don't need training wheels, I don't need my hands. I'm holding this bike in balance from my core. Self-carriage. It's a similar process for horses. Now, why am I going into all this? So many people full of well-intentioned illusions think that to be nice to horses, you should have loose reins. Well, that's like saying the child who's never ridden a bicycle should be able to ride without training wheels. And people ride with loose reins out of the illusion of niceness. And with loose reins, the nose goes first. And here's the real illusion of loose reins. And you'll see it. Watch people. The person riding with the loose reins, the horse's head does go somewhere that it wasn't supposed to. I'm supposed to be riding straight into that camera with loose reins, and my horse goes, oh, look at Marika. Well, guess what this rider's about to do? Reach down to the right rein, pull the head back, and then let it go again. It's called pressure and release. The head goes where you don't want it to go, pull it back and let it go. So it's passive-aggressive hands. Passive-aggressive, so passive there is no blocking energy, there are no boundaries, the head goes somewhere, and suddenly the person who doesn't want to pull on horses is pulling on horses. But the end result is this: nose goes, nose goes. Nose goes, nose gets pulled back. Nose goes because there's no boundaries, nose gets pulled back, and now we're riding an inverted horse who's full of stress. So the horses need that contact in the beginning. They need that, not hands that are pulling, but hands that are holding the neck and head in the center of the body. And if you're holding my head right here, not pulling it anywhere, gently holding it here, and I start pulling on your right rein to go left with my head, you still don't pull back. You let me bump into the blocking energy, and then you touch me here in my girth area, the single area, and you straighten me in the body to bring me back. This is back to front, and this isn't just riding. It isn't just riding, it's also on the ground. Marika, could you come stand next to me for just a second? And I'm going to go into more of this in a moment. Could you be a horse, Marika? There's her head. Could you turn it that way, please, Marika? Oh, I wanted my horse just focused, pulled its head back. Yeah, I'm leading the face. Could you look over there again, Marika? I need my horse focused. Push it single back. Just straightening the body from back to front. Just little things like that can make all the difference. Thank you, Marika. Now, as we get into this even deeper and deeper, we're going to start looking at what's happening with just everyday horse handling essentials. The term groundwork does not mean lunging and round penning and long lining. Groundwork means you're on the ground. If you're a veterinarian, you're doing groundwork with horses. Denise, could you come on up, please? And Marika, while I do this with Denise, would you take the level-headed horse and highlight the 5 buttons, please? Yeah. Would you be a horse, please? So, maybe move over just a little to the right. A little more, please. What a good horse. See, self-carriage. There's the nose of a horse, the neck, the shoulder of the horse. Push, block, draw comes out of every part of our body. I would like to demonstrate how to pet a horse so the horse understands you just want to knuffle, you just want to be affectionate. It understands what you're saying with your body language. Okay, you ready to be the horse? I'm going to walk up to this horse, and I'm going to aim my novel in here at the single area. And I'm going to take this arm, not this one. I'll talk about why in a moment. And I'm going to bend my hips this way, and I'm going to touch the horse in the single area. And that will be the cause and effect. This horse is bringing me its head. That is a drawing hip. This is a push into the single. This is causing the head to come to me. And, can you go straight again, please? By the way, as we're doing this, think of when you've seen horses who are best friends loving each other, and they're doing this. It's simulating that language. You don't see them kissing each other on the face. You see the face go into each other's shoulders, withers, down into the single. You see, here's my teeth. You see this. Nope, change that bend, yeah. Now this hip is inviting that head to come to me. If I'm doing this to the horse, the physiology is producing the nice drugs like oxytocin and endorphins, and the horse's mind understands my intention. Just look at that shape. Now, instead, this is what so many horses get. Oh, what a pretty girl. And because I'm standing on this leg and petting with this arm, they're going to go up and start to go contra. You've all seen horses being haltered like this and bridled like this, and the head starts moving away, and we're chasing the head that's moving away. Now, push, block, draw is push, block, draw. This hip to that head is pushing it away. This hip is calling it back in. This hip is neither. Blocking hip, pushing hip, drawing hip. With horses, if you think of their head, their mind as the center, relative to the center, this is my inside hand right now. This is my outside hand. This is my inside leg. This is my outside leg. As I turn to face the other way, it all just changed. This is my inside hand. This is my inside hip. This is my outside hand, outside leg. So, can't tell you how many times we see this. I'm the veterinarian. Wow, this is a nice horse. Yeah, and the feet look good. What a nice horse. Yeah. So my intention is, what a nice horse. But my hip and this hand are causing the nose to go away first, as opposed to my hips and my hands causing the body to arc out and the nose to come to me last. I'm a very friendly veterinarian. I don't realize what a bully I am. I'm a very user-friendly veterinarian. I don't realize what a bully I am. I'm going to draw neck out of this, blood out of this vein in the neck. Watch my core. I don't realize I'm driving that horse's head away. I'm going to keep my core in draw while I work. Watch my belly. There goes that head again. They're responding to all of this, and you've all seen it. You see it all the time. Come back here with me, please. The horse I started with who willingly follows me into the horse trainer. Watch this. Your core is your center. The energy that comes out of your solar plexus. Some of you know about chakras and chi. That third energy center is not just this spiritual illusion. It's real. It's power. And it comes from here. Watch this hip. That invites the horse to come with me as I go into the trailer. Let's go back again. Sayings like getting off on the wrong foot. I'm standing next to this horse. I want to go. If the very first leg to go is my inside leg, I end up drawing the horse away and get bumped, pushing the head away, and I get bumped by this shoulder because I led with this leg. If I lead with my outside leg and I open my inner hip to draw, I'm saying, I am going forward and you're invited to come with me. And they come. But watch this. We just stepped up into the trailer and I go, what a good girl. And I turn my core into her face and there's a wall that she can't turn into. It's a trailer. That push against that wall causes her to back right back out of the trailer. Follow me into the trailer, please, Denise. Come in, watch my core. What a good girl. You turn into them. There's a wall there. They can't go there, so they just back out. This pushed them out. Sounds silly, but it's true. Pushing, drawing. An example in the horse's body language that you've all seen is when two horses meet and they go round to round. They go nose to nose. Denise, let's you and I meet, okay? And we go round, we're rounding each other out. We look like Grand Prix dressage horses, and we're nose to nose. Now, here's my nose. Here it is. Now, you all know what's about to happen. We just meet, we go round and round, and there's a really good chance within the first 2 to 3 seconds, one of us is going to go, right? Why? We all see it, but why? She's going to be the one to go, because as we're round, watch my nose, I start coming up with my nose. As soon as Denise sees he's coming up with his nose, I'm shifting out of powerful but respectful. As soon as his nose starts moving up, I'm doing that. So as soon as that nose comes up, she knows I just switched from respectful to challenging, and she says, thank you, Denise. Get out of here. Actually, while you're there, wait, come on back. Let's do some more of this. So these are all this has nothing to do yet with riding. These are all day-to-day handling. Can we do this? I'm going to walk up. I'm going to do my best. Watch this in slow motion. I'm about to face this horse. All of these moves, they see them. And there's an old saying, a horse knows what you know. There are people in this room, I'm going to sound like I'm blowing smoke out of my ego, but there are lots of people in the room that know it's true. They say, oh my God, the horses just love him. The horses like him. He doesn't even have to work them. They just want to go to him. They watch how I move. The head that's behind me, I'm about to face, I know that horse is there. Watch this hip. It draws. Watch this center. It draws. Watch me step back and that hip draws. I'm conscious of stepping to my outside leg. I bring my chi to the body, not the neck and head. I make my first touch the outside arm. I'm about to go straight beside the horse. I have to fold that off, bend that. I'm doing it all in slow motion so you can see, exaggerating so you can see it. But I could be out here, and when I go to the horse, this is what people do. First step in is forward drive. I'm already threatening this horse by taking forward energy right to the head. Coming in with the wrong leg, coming in with the wrong arm. Geez, what's wrong with this horse? So it's there. Just take a break for a second, Denise. For the audience, watch me for just a moment. I'm about to shift my weight to my left side. If I tell you to watch for it, say now when you see it happen. You have to catch it really subtle. Tell me now when it happens. There you go. You have to watch them like that because they're watching you like that. So, I'm standing next to a horse, and literally, watch my weight. Because people, we do this, and we do that, and then that. This is a really delicate mare. She's one of those mares. Now, watch my weight. As soon as I even start to go onto that leg, she's interpreting that as threatening her. She's either going to get up and turn away, or she's going to come in stink-eyed and want to bite me. Because head pushing into the neck and head is interpreted as aggressive. So, I'm just meeting this horse for the first time. I'm standing beside it. I keep my energy parallel to it. And here's what's going, not into it. I'm neutral. Visualize me as the left horse of a driving pair pulling a carriage, and Denise is the right horse, and I'm just right here minding my own business, no threat, no push to your head, nothing. Now, if I take this neutral position beside the horse, what is absolutely guaranteed to happen with every horse is this head's about to do one of two things. It's either going to turn into me, or it's going to turn away from me. It's going to do that. It's either going to do either one. Now here's the appropriate response to start to engender respect and trust from a horse you've never met. Start to come in. Block. Just block. Do not push it away. Start to come in. Block. Test my block. She'll try to go over it. She'll try to go up and over it, Denise. You have to be a mime, and you have this boundary, this wall between you. Thank you. Now, obviously, none of us are strong enough to just put a wall up, but you do need that boundary because the horse is testing you, just seeing if you can be disrespected, seeing if I push that head into you, what's going to happen. Here's what most people do. None of this is conscious. Here's what most people do. Watch my body language. Come in. It's that passive aggressive again. The head comes in, we yield, and then we push it out. It's so catty. Now, the biomechanics, the biodynamics, as the head starts to come in, you block it. And the blocking energy specifically is right there at the corner of the mouth. That's a button. It's a dynamic button. And as you put blocking energy to the mouth, you've blocked the entire head and neck as it's connected right here at the shoulder. All of it. Now, as they push that, don't rely on just blocking. The next button back behind them is the shoulder button. As they push against that block, you can take your shoulder, your hip, your elbow, and you bump their shoulder. Now, can you just hold on for a second, Denise? You're having too much fun with this. Wait a second. Now, when the horse's head's coming into you and you put up that block at the same time, let's do it again. Come in. Like the clutch, there's your block, there's your push into the shoulder. Now, the head is connected to the neck, is connected to the shoulder. If you push the shoulder, the offensive head goes away. If you push the head, you're causing the nose to move. You're interpreted as aggressive. You're producing adrenaline. And as you push the head away, the shoulder comes into you. That's going to get you. So, response to head coming into your space is a block, shoulder. Block, shoulder. They're going to turn their head away from you. Now, when they're turning their head away from you, the head is passive to you, but the body's pushing into you. The response is not to pull the head back. Don't pull the head back. That's us leading the head. That's us causing the head to move. You go to the third button back on the body in the single. So as that's happening, reach back here and say, hey, straighten out at the single. Reach back and touch the single. Straighten them from back to front. Now, these three concepts, watch this again. You ready to be the horse? Now, again, this is for body workers, for veterinarians, physiotherapists, hoofsmiths. It's not your job to round pen this horse or train this horse, but it certainly helps if the horse knows that you know your body language and you approach it stepping out with your energy, your novel into the body, not the neck and head. That you come in here and you touch it with an outside arm, with your inner hip open. That you draw your core back, you stand beside it. It's going to now test you by bringing its head into you, and you're just going to block it. And you're going to block it, and if need be, you're going to tell the shoulder no. And then it's going to turn its head away from you, and you're going to straighten its single and say no. And those concepts right there, thanks Denise, you can take a break, are enough to get 9 out of 10 horses to go, oh, thank God, someone finally gets it. Because they're exposed to so much passive-aggressive energy around their neck and head. Denise, can you do this again, please? The horse is in the stall. leaning out with their ears pinned straight back. It's a lifetime of things like this happening. Oh, what a pretty girl you are. You're so pretty. Such a pretty girl. And the horse was like, so it comes down to this. You want to relax that for a moment?
Yeah.
In fact, you want to just take a break? I'll call you back up in a minute. Get out. There's 3 energies. Marika is right on cue. There's 3 energies: push, block, draw. Pushing into the body, the hips, the single, the shoulders. Pushing. There's the go forward button. Push flanks to go forward. Push singles for bending and straightening. Push shoulders for lateral movement in the shoulders. Push hips for lateral movement in the hips. Do not push into the neck and head. Pushing into the neck and head causes the head to move first, which triggers fight or flight frame of body. And it's also interpreted as you being a bully. So, sum up everything so far with this. Develop more self-awareness of how your push, block, draw goes into the horse. And if a horse sees that you do not send any pushing signal, not a shoulder, not a hip, not a center, not a leg, not an arm. Pushing is pushing. That no push from your body ever goes in there. And that when you do need to respond to them, you are sending pushing into the body buttons, not the head. This button, block or draw. These buttons, push, block, draw. So we choreograph push, block, draw into the body to create shapes that feel good, because the nose is last. That's it in a nutshell. But there are so many ways that we mess that up if we're not aware of what we're doing. Groundwork with horses. Veterinarians, you're going to meet a horse you've never met before. So we have to be realistic and authentic about what's going on. You do not have a bond. You are not the leader. Hopefully the owners of the horse have asked you to work on a well-behaved, well-trained horse. Good luck with that. So, groundwork with horses. We call it groundwork. Groundwork, in reality, is competing to be the leader. Competing. We all know what happens if you bring a new horse home and you put it out in the paddock with one of your horses. What's going to happen? They're not just going to walk up to each other and go, "Oh, you want to be my best friend?" Not likely. 99 out of 100 times when 2 horses meet for the first time, they're going to compete with each other. There's going to be a little kerfuffle happening. Now, let's talk a little bit about predator and prey. Difference between dogs and horses. Cats and dogs and horses. When you watch dogs and cats play, most of the time what they're playing is capturing prey. The dog fetching the ball. Bring back the prey. 2 dogs or 2 cats wrestling with each other. Oh, they're just wrestling. Well, they're practicing who can capture prey. That's what that is. They don't need to capture prey. We feed them. But they still have an instinct. It's in their DNA that when we play, let's practice capturing prey animals. Top dog gets on top of underdog. Look, I pinned you down. I've captured you. In the land of predators, it is safe to say that the vast majority of the time, the bigger muscles on the bigger body are going to win that game. So I always bring up the Jack Russell Terriers at this point. Jack Russell Terriers are fierce little predators who think they are tough. But my Great Pyrenees says no. The Doberman says no. The German Shepherd, the Akita says no. I'm bigger. I'm stronger. So in human sports, it's very rare that you would see a lightweight wrestler or boxer in the ring with a heavyweight wrestler or boxer. But I think everyone in this room who's been around horses has seen a small horse can be the leader of the herd. It's pretty cute when you watch a pony dominate a warm blood. Happens a lot. So there's something to look at there. Horses do not need you to be bigger or stronger to be the leader. We know that for a fact because little horses can so often rule. So logic. Predators practice capturing prey. Prey practice avoiding being captured. It's that simple. What do you need, someone answer this question, to avoid being captured if you're a horse? As a prey animal, a deer, a sheep, a cow, a horse, how do you avoid being captured by a predator? Run. What else? Scan the environment. You need to know if you need to run. If you're relying on the need to run, you might not live very long, because if you are upwind and the predator is downwind hiding behind a rock, you're not going to see it until it's too late. So, number one survival skill, well done Saskia, for a horse is situational awareness. You've probably all seen this. It's all quiet in the herd. It's very quiet. We're all eating grass. But then all of a sudden, one of the more dominant horses in the herd hierarchy all of a sudden runs over and bites or kicks another horse. You've all seen it. And we think, oh, what a bully. That horse just for no reason or other just went and bit another horse. But there was a reason. That other horse challenged it. So here's what horses do all the time. I'm going to do it to Denise. Where's Denise? Because she's been the horse. So we're in the herd together. And Denise is an alpha mare. You want to just wait right there, please, boss? And she's grazing and I'm grazing. And I'm bent away from her. Now here's another dynamic that I haven't talked about yet. Lines. We're going to get into lines in a moment. And I'm over here grazing and I'm bent away from Denise. Now watch what I'm about to do. And I do it on purpose. I bend into her and I take my single line and I cross over her spine with it. Looks subtle, looks like no big deal, but I just did this. Hey, you paying attention? And she comes at me to let me know, yes, I am paying attention. The horses are doing this to each other all the time. Hey, here's my front legs as a horse. Here's my chest as a horse. And there's Denise. She's above me in the pecking order. I turn to her. The first time I turn to face her, watch this, I swing my hindquarters away from her back there, and I step out to this leg, and I face her this way. She has no problem with that. But then another moment goes by. Here's the front legs, and now I do this. My nose goes to her first, and I step in on that leg, and she's coming after me. This, swinging my ass end away from her, stepping to my outside forehand to her. Yes, ma'am. But the moment I do this, she's coming after me. I sent her a test. Thank you, Denise. So these lines, every horse has two lines in its body. The spinal line separates left side from right side. The single line separates front from back. And in the language of the herd, whose lines cross whose lines is dominant. Here's how this plays out. Visualize it with sheep. They're prey animals, and I'm a border collie. And I want this sheep to go between the desk and the front row. I want the sheep to go there. So the first thing I'm going to have to do as a border collie is get on this side of the spine. If I'm on this side of the spine, they're going forward and away that way. I need to be on this side. Now watch, the sheep went past the target, so I need to go to this side. And the sheep went past, I need to go to this side. You've all seen that. The horses are playing the same game. But it's not just the spine hurting left and right, it's also the single. Maybe some of you here have tried to ride in a drill team or tried to ride a pas de deux. Good luck getting stirrup to stirrup. To truly be, to have two riders who can ride stirrup to stirrup would require two horses who are at peace with each other's girth lines being right next to each other. That's not natural. In nature, if these two were a herd, we would know this one's behind this one. This one does not... If this is a dominant horse behind, it's pushing. If this is the dominant horse, this one's following. But whoever's not the dominant one doesn't cross the other's lines. If they do, big trouble. Big. So all of this is playing out all the time. Denise, could you come back, please? Horses, like water, horses don't have brakes. Could you maybe stand on this side again, please? I would say it's safe to say nobody here has ever seen a horse grab another horse by its face and pull it to a stop. You've never seen a horse run up to walk up to another horse, grab its face, and pull its face to make it stop. They don't do that. That's not their language. Now, they read our bodies the same way I'm talking about reading their bodies. I have a spine. Denise is on the right side of my spine. Denise is on the left side of my spine. As I'm out front here, right now, we are spine on spine. She's the horse. She's got a horizontal spine. I've got a vertical spine. My spine is right in front of her spine. Now I'm on her left side with my spine. Now I'm on her right side with my spine. Just me doing this is acting very dominant. So is this. Her girth is back here. Her single is back here. If I put my girth, the seam of my pants is my single. The seam of my pants separates front from back. If I come back here and I go from behind her single to in front of her single to behind her single to in front of her single, I'm acting very dominant, and they know it. Now, here's what happens. Watch the miscommunication. Earlier I made the statement, a horse knows what you know. And it's true. Here's another truth. Horses don't know what we don't know. I'm standing beside the horse. These are everyday handling issues now. I'm standing here with the horse, and it starts to walk off. And the people pull it to stop. Go to walk off, pull it to stop. You've even seen people do this. Maybe you've done this. Horse starts to walk off. Get out in front of it and try and stop it. Now, that instinct to stop the horse is our deeply encoded predatory instinct. That's what dogs do. Stop each other's movement. It's called capturing. Here's what a horse would understand. So they don't understand stopping them. Now, I'm holding onto a rope and the horse starts to walk by me. Go ahead. I'm going to let it go. And the moment its single crosses my single, I'm going to reach back here and slap its hindquarters and drive, pushing that button, driving that hip around me. I'm going to stay right where I am, but drive that hip around me. I'll come to a halt, block the face. If it goes off again, go ahead. Drive that hip around me. Now, in reality, what I'm doing is I'm not capturing and forcing the head to stop. I'm pushing and herding the horse back where I want it. I'm driving it back to me, not pulling on its face to make it stay with me. Thank you. Now, a couple of things about that. One, They understand it. 2, when the horse walked through you, its head did not disrespect you. Its hindquarters did. It's the hindquarters that caused it to walk through you. So when we pull on the head, we are being aggressive to a passive part of the body. And when we don't push the hips away from us, we are being passive to the aggressive part of the body. So none of it makes sense to a horse. But when you do say, oh, that is a rude hindquarters that's walking through me, as you crossed my single line with your single line, that became a disrespectful challenge. I'm going to herd you around me, bring you right back, try it again. If you go again, I'll herd you around me. They figure that out real quick. And it makes sense to them. And you're making sure the nose is the last thing into the turn. And you've all seen a horse wanting to lay down. And when it lays down, what it does is it puts its nose pretty much in one place, and then it swings its body around. Dogs do it too. And then they just lay down. The unwinding of a body by swinging the hind end around the front end so quickly physiologically induces calm. They get this massive stretch and endorphin flow from it. So, when the horse goes to walk away from us, if we grab the face and stop it, we're a bully, we're triggering adrenaline, none of it makes sense. We're passive to what's aggressive and we're aggressive to what's passive. When instead we just hold the head, drive the hips out, cause the horse to turn around us, swinging his hips out, we are pushing the pushy part, we are kind to the head, we assure the nose is last into the turn, and causing that kind of a turn has this deep physiological relaxation in a horse. Fastest way to get a horse to stand still, calm, and relaxed is to do a few turns on the forehand around you, not to pull it to stop. These are the things that we need to learn so that a horse knows that you know, so that it feels good in its body. How do you make me feel? How do you stand next to me? How do you make me feel? These are the things that are going on all the time. And it does not take very long at all for a horse to know that you know. So, what's going to happen when you meet a horse every time, and your own horse will keep doing it routinely, is they are obligated to test, are you paying attention? To really understand the mind of a horse, the vulnerability of a prey animal, I often bring up the analogy of soldiers at war. Doesn't sound like a prey animal, but when you really think about it, every animal is a prey animal, even predators, even soldiers. The rabbit is a prey animal, and the wolf is stalking the rabbit. So the wolf is the predator, but there's a man stalking the wolf. We're all prey. So, when we're working with the horses, they are obligated to test our awareness. Test your situational awareness. Now here's what it'd be like. We're all soldiers at war, and I'm the leader. There's no enemy that we can see at the moment. Everybody's exhausted. Everybody needs sleep. You're a stressed prey animal. And then I say, okay, Denise is on guard. Denise is on guard. We all know Denise. So whether or not you can relax depends upon how much you trust her awareness. How much can you trust her awareness? If you know that she kind of spaces out and doesn't really pay attention and she wanders off in her mind, then you can't relax. Does that all make sense? That's a horse. And it's a hard lesson for people to hear, but here it is. A dog can love you because you're nice. A horse can't love you unless it knows you have the power that will protect it. And the power that protects it is mindfulness and boundaries. Here's what I mean by all that blocking energy. Here's what I mean by boundaries. On the one hand, there is that physiological relaxation that kicks in when we are blocking the nose from moving first. Another way to put this is a quiet neck and head is a quiet mind. A busy neck and head is a busy mind. You'll see lots of horses standing there without moving their feet, doing this. Nice exercise, hold them. Just hold them still in the neck and head. And show them if something needs to be busy, animate your legs, animate your body. Take all that busyness out of your neck and head, put it into your legs. Busy legs instead of busy head. So, to get them so quiet in their mind by making sure the nose is always last to turn, but also your boundaries. And here's the analogy to put why boundaries provide peace of mind for a horse. Everybody here has seen a horse in a box stall stressed out. It's an animal trapped in a cage. That's one reality. But everybody here has also seen a horse asleep in a box stall. You've seen both. One horse stressed out feels legitimately, I'm a prey animal trapped in a cage. The next horse who's sleeping, lays down on the floor of the box stall, has a completely different perception of the walls. The walls aren't holding it in. The walls are keeping all the potential predators and threats out. Like you will go home tonight and close your doors and probably lock them. You will lock the car doors of your vehicle. Why do we close doors and lock them? So that we feel safe. The horse who sleeps in the box stall feels safe. So add all this up. Does the horse feel that you are a safe box stall? Are your boundaries perceived as safe? If we do not cause the nose to move first, just the opposite, we use blocking energy to hold the nose. That when we move the horse, we move it through its body. We don't initiate movement in the neck and head. We move it through the body. We provide the boundaries to the neck and head while we move the body. We talk about cliche terms like keep the horse between the legs and reins. Well, that's keep the horse in the box stall between your legs and reins. When a horse's body, when its physiology is producing really nice feel-good chemistry because the nose is last, and they know they're in the company of a leader who pays attention and who has unequivocal boundaries, they feel safe. If I can't get through Chris's boundaries, then threats would have to get through Chris to get to me, and I've tested his boundaries, and they're good, they're resilient. The more I test Chris, the safer I feel because he always responds in the right place, at the right time, with the right energy. That's a horse. That is a horse. A horse's behavior is directly related. There's this cliche term, a horse is a mirror. All these kind of psycho-spiritual, metaphysical cliches, a horse is a mirror. Well, it is. Now, you can take on a horse that I do it all the time. This is my job. Did I cause all this damage to the horse? No. It's my job to try and fix it. So I have to show the horse, first and foremost, what I don't do. For horse trainers, it's like the Hippocratic oath in medicine, do no harm. And I'll keep repeating it, what you don't do is send pushing energy to the neck and head. But it's what people are doing constantly without realizing it. Constantly without realizing it. A couple of quick ones, because we're running out of time. Just to put this into perspective. Everybody here, when you were a child, you went to catch a ball. And when you were trying to catch that ball, you hurt your fingers. Everybody did it. Someone throws the volleyball or the basketball. Ouch. There's only 3 energies. And here's what happened. A ball was coming to you. And the instinct of the child is to capture it. Just like we would reach out and capture a butterfly, reach out and capture a moth. It's a predatory instinct to capture. We've all had that cat sitting on our lap and it takes its claws and it just starts kneading into your leg. Cute little dog where I'm coaching right now, you pet him. If you stop petting him, he'll reach out with his paw and pull your hand back. Pet me some more. You take your hand off. He goes, no. Bring it back. No. So the predator reaches out and takes what it wants. So we reached out to capture the ball. Now the whole thing is capturing, in terms of energy, is a push, an advance to capture, and is designed in nature to capture a prey animal that's running away from you. It doesn't work if it's coming to you. If the ball was coming to us, we had to override that predator instinct, and we had to learn a drawing energy to catch a ball, not an advancing energy to catch a ball. Draw away from the head, send the pushing energy to the girth, the ball comes to you and you draw back and catch it. Catching the horse is to say to this button and this button, perhaps, say, and a lot of times it doesn't take physical contact, just intention. Aim at the single, give me the bend, move your hip, which brings the head to you, and you catch it. You absorb it, you draw back to catch it. Can you face the audience again, please? You can just stand next to them. I need the ball coming to me so I can catch it. And it starts here in the single button. I'm ready to catch with a drawing hip. Yes. Watch this hand. I don't reach forward to touch them. Coming in like that is forward energy, so it's pushing. This is what's happening when people go to bridle horses. My core, my hands, everything is pushing the head away. You've all seen it. Now we're bridling here. Little concepts like I touch the girth with my outer arm relative to the head. The head comes around, sees an open hip. Watch this hip, watch that head. Whoops, whoop, come back. Whoop, come back. When my hand is going to go for this head to hold it, I'm not coming to the inside. I'm going to open my arm out and around to provide this is all drawing energy that comes around, and it's a block on this side. So as the head tries to go away, block, girth brings it back. Head tries to go away, bumps into the block, girth brings it back. This is holding the horse. Catching it and holding it. Thank you, Denise. Yeah. And they love it. To put a halter on, to put a bridle on, to groom the neck and head, to groom the forelock, to put the pasty wormer in the mouth, to put the bit in the mouth. How are we doing it? How are we doing it? This could just go on. Denise, one last one, please. Could you come back? Or Marika, you could come. You're close. Come on up, please. One last one. Excuse me for just a second. Let me look over here for props. No. So, this will work, I think. Maybe. Wheelbarrow walk. Yeah, that'll work. So, Marika's going to be the horse in just a moment. Can you just give me a moment? I'm going to go left to Marika. And there's 2 ways to do this. One way to go left is to step left to go left. When you ask a human being, go left or right. When you tell someone to go somewhere, 9 times out of 10, the leg closest to that direction will go first. If I'm told, go Chris, go left, that's going to happen. Now, if I'm pushing a wheelbarrow, I now have a horizontal body. I'm more like the horse. There's the front end. And if I want my horse to go left, if I want the nose of the horse to go left, and I step left, it's going the wrong way. Now just look at this image for a second and visualize in your mind how often you see horses in groundwork are in contra. They're in counterbend. This is one of those big incongruencies. That when I'm riding on the horse, when I'm riding my horse to the left, I'd like a nice true left bend with the nose coming into the left. But how come when I'm lunging the horse to the left and long lining the horse to the left, it's the opposite? It's always in contra. When you get to the horizontal body to go left, you have to step out to the right to go left. Going left, stepping left with my left leg. Going left, stepping out to the left with my right leg. Now, why? Why is that so important? Marika,
Yeah.
could you start walking a circle left, please? Now, visualize she's a horse, and I'm lunging her. I'm in the round pen with her, or I'm lunging her. And we're going left. If you look at my legs, I'm doing the wheelbarrow walk. I'm stepping out to the right. Can you hold your arms out? And her face is there. Her shoulders are there. Back here is her back. Back here is her hindquarters. All my energy coming out of my body is in her body. This shoulder's open. There's a draw. There's push to the flank. There's push to the single. There's push to the shoulder. I'm not in her face. But the vast majority of people are not doing the wheelbarrow walk when they're walking circles with horses. Watch my legs. They're stepping left to go left. And they're causing the head to go out. Lots of people will say, come on in again, please, Marika. My horse won't lunge. My horse won't lunge. Just hold it right there, please. Watch from here. You'll see it. There's her face. Back here's her hips. Into the body or into the face. This is why you are seeing people these days being taught to lunge horses like this. It's all very dramatic. Don't I look theatrical? I'm driving the head out of the circle instead of driving the body out of the circle and drawing the head into the circle. So it's constant. There's so many ways we get off on the wrong foot. We use the wrong arm. We send pushing energy where it should have been drawing energy or blocking energy. We're doing it constantly. That's why there's so many behavior problems, and that's why there's so many horses breaking down. We know how their biomechanics are supposed to look, but we don't know how our biomechanics are going to deliver it. That's the missing link. Now, just this thing about stepping out, the wheelbarrow walk. There's a horse standing next to me. She's in the cross ties. I'm busy grooming away on this left side. Now, there's no conscious thought of this, but the person in their mind knows, I want to go to the other side. The other side is on the right. Because the other side is on the right, I go with my right leg, and my first step is into the head. Even going from side to side with a horse, I want to go to the right, but I have to visualize I'm taking a wheelbarrow over there, and I want to go to her right side. I need to step out to the left and take a wheelbarrow around her nose to come into this side. And I want to go parallel to her. Imagine there's a laser beam coming out of my novel. If I'm forward with my energy when I turn, I've driven her head away. I need to pull this off and step out. Step out, step out, step out. I'm going over there, but I have to step out over there. And as I come around this nose, that shoulder needs to open and draw. And the center of my body has to be lined up with this shoulder. And I have to pull that core off, bend that hip away, and step out. Open that shoulder. Bring my center to the body, not the neck and head. Draw my core off, step out, bend away. These movements right here, a horse knows what you know. To be in here petting her with the wrong arm, with my core in her face, going over there, leading with the wrong leg, all of this is just... Child's loving the kitten and the kitten is not loving it. Now this horse is angry. This is why so many horses are so pissy in cross ties. Because body language tells the head to go somewhere and they're tied to a rope. So it's all this. That's what's going on. Thank you, Marika.
Welcome.
So I could go on and on. I think I may have got halfway through my outline here. But it is time to wrap this up. I wish I had more time. Let's take a quick peek here and see. There's lots. Oh, there's so much we haven't talked about. Here's one more quick one, if I may. Can I take 5 more minutes of your time? Yeah? Could both you ladies come back, please? And one of you be in front, one in back. Okay? So, come on up in here. Can you maybe, yeah. And Marika's going to be the shoulders, the neck, and the head. Denise is the horse's ass. So, this horse has 4 legs. Ladies, can you have your feet shoulder width apart, please? Now, we could say, for all intents and purposes, this horse is in neutral. All 4 legs are, we call them square, call them neutral. When they're neutral, neutral's neutral. Now hold that position.
This one?
Yeah. Okay. Could you switch your legs, please, Denise? Yep. There. Now, this horse isn't neutral. This horse is between steps. Just call it between steps. Meaning, if Marika's the front end, she's got her right front leg forward, left front leg back, and Denise is the back end. She's got her left hind forward, right hind back. And this diagonal balance here between the left hind is forward and the right foot is forward, you see that. There it is there. That horse is going from right hind on the ground to left front on the ground with left hind in the air and right front in the air. So they balance diagonally. Now, why am I bringing this up? Another little thing for you to do when you introduce yourself to a horse. Just as you approach it, read its feet. And I look at that, and when I look at that horse, I know that its left side is its bending side. The left side of the horse, with this left hind leg forward and right forehand forward, left hind forward, right forehand forward, this horse's body right now is designed to bend left. If it were to bend, it wouldn't bend right. If this horse were to go forward, this would be the first leg that needs to go. Does that make sense? Why am I bringing this up? Show the horse you've never met before things like this. I walk into you, stepping with my outside leg. I come into your shoulder. I keep that hip open. I touch your single here on this side. I just touch it. You get a nice response. That's nice. I draw away. I come around, stepped out, I open my shoulder, I come around to this side, and I touch the flank button. I just make contact here. And the horse takes a step up. This horse knows what I know. I'm pushing the correct buttons. As opposed to And this happens a lot. Okay, well, I'm going to read that horse's feet. No, you were good. Go back where you were, Denise, please. Yeah. This is the go forward side now. The left side is the side that would go forward. The right side is the bending side. There's a bend side and a go side. You could say a bend side and a send side. And why do we need to know this? If I go into this side and tell it to bend, I'm going to put it out of balance. If I go onto that side and tell it to go, I'm going to put it out of balance. And they know that they don't know that I don't know, but all they know is, boy, you come along and I don't feel so good with you. So there's so much to learn to read. Read the feet. Read the top line. Is the horse bending or is the horse folding? Read where the feet are. Know which button to touch. Thank you, ladies. Know that your pushing energy never goes into the neck and head. And because it is a language, the horse knows that you know within minutes of meeting it. And a horse who knows what you know and knows that you cause it to feel good is a lot easier to get along with than a horse who doesn't know what you don't know, but does know that you don't make it feel good. That's the equation. That's what we're all up against. So I'll end it with the oldest cliche there is. Knowledge is power. The better you can read their body and the more informed you are on how to use your body, the easier it gets. Yeah. People watch me do work with horses all the time. They go, oh my God, it's magic. It's magic. No, it's not. It's science. It's physics. It's biomechanics. It's biodynamics affecting physiology, affecting biochemistry, affecting behavior. Okay? So I'm going to end the evening with this. I'm going to get a little touchy-feely now. What is it that we ask of the horses? Anyone? Trust. Where'd that come from? Trust? Thank you. Is that Brenda? Hey, Brenda. Okay, process and outcome. There's no wrong answers to this question. Trust would be an outcome that you have earned. Okay? With your trust, what are we going to ask of the horse? Pardon me? Trust, the horse is going to feel safe with you if you move correctly, and you're going to get its trust. With trust and the horse feeling safe, let's say we're going to leap ahead in process. You have earned, the horse has tested you. You have passed the tests. Which brings up, you can't control them. You can only control how you respond to them. But you've responded well. You've responded informed. You've responded with awareness and putting your push block draw where it needs to be, so you are earning respect and trust and focus and willingness. And now what is it with all that we're actually asking of them? It's a big question. We want them to allow us to control them as we do this. Should I just tell you what it is? In fairness, it's kind of a difficult question to ask, and I ask everywhere I go, and nobody's ever got it. It's a tricky question. It's an abstract question, but it's not. When you put the horse in the horse trailer, you know where you're going, they don't. When you take your horse to this show, you know where you're going, they don't. When you hand your horse over to a friend or a coach and say, here, show me, they don't know what's about to happen. So here's the reality of a horse. We are asking them to allow us to lead their vulnerability into the unknown. I have to bring that up because people don't view it that way. But a heavy dose of empathy and respect for the reality of the creature is this. We are asking a prey animal to allow our body to lead its body, its mind, its spirit into the unknown. They have no idea what's next. None. When they go in that trailer, if they've been in trailers before, they have no idea where they're going. They have no idea if they're ever coming home. We ask them to allow us to lead their vulnerability into the unknown. And I bring that up everywhere, but it's important for vets because horses, you'll meet horses who have met vets, but you're meeting them for the first time. And they might already have a conditioned response. Uh-oh, vet. Yeah. I had a dog. I always have a dog, but I had a dog once. Every time the farrier, the hoofsmith truck showed up, he was right there to meet the hoofsmith, right? Clippings, clippings, clippings. But after he was castrated, every time a vet truck showed up, he hid. And didn't even have to be the same vet. They're that aware. The dogs and the horses know the difference between the veterinarian's vehicle and the hoofsmith's vehicle. How they look, how they sound, how they smell are two completely different vehicles. I am out of here. So, what we are asking of horses is to allow us to lead their vulnerability into the unknown. And I ended on that note with, wouldn't it be great if we could lead by example? Embrace the vulnerability, because you are vulnerable around these horses. They can hurt you. But the difference between danger and risk is competency. The more you know, the safer it gets. Sum up this whole evening. The most important thing to know is help a horse's head be still, not busy. Learn to hold horses, not pull horses. That's number one. If there's one thing from this evening, you don't pull head to the right with the right rope, you use it to block left. You don't pull the head to the left with the left rein, you use it to block right. You hold the head still and move shoulders, ribs, hips, flanks. Hold the head still. And when you get to give the horse the free rein or the free rope is when you have trained it and it has a muscle memory to hold its own head still. You can have loose ropes. You can lead without contact. But it's the outcome of good training and good schooling where a horse says, you know what, you've shown me how good it feels to move through my body with my nose last. I got it. I can do this on my own most of the time. Every now and then something's going to happen in the environment and I'm going to go, what? And I'm going to need you to take me back in your good hands and help me again. Okay? The biggest illusion in the horse world right now, because there's been so many aggressive hands and there's been so much roll cur, we're switching from one extreme to the other, from bad hands to no hands. No hands is neglect. It is not nice, it is not freedom, it is not liberty, it is neglect. It is a failure to facilitate well-being. Take them in your hands and learn to hold them so their nose is last. And here becomes the conditioned response. God, I love to be in a human's hands. A horse can want your hand, just like the dogs do. Just like a dog. We all know what it's like to pet a dog and have it want your hand. And science has figured out why. You've all experienced this. You've met a dog you've never met before, and it's insatiable. Pet me, pet me, pet me, pet me. Critical thinking. Are you its leader? No, you've never met it. Do you have a bond with it? No, you've never met it. Why does it want you to pet it? It's not because it loves you. It's because when you pet dogs, it produces oxytocin in them. They're little greedy drug addicts. They're little greedy drug addicts. And you've all met the dogs and the cats who don't want to go anywhere near people. One conditioned response, human equals oxy. Give me oxy. Give me oxy. Next horse, next cat, next dog, human beings. I don't want that adrenaline. I don't want that adrenaline. The same thing is happening with horses. I go home, I put my hand out, my horse walks up, plugs her nose into it, and closes her eyes and goes to sleep. Conditioned response. This equals bliss. Okay? You can have that. You can have a horse want your hand not because it has treats, but because it's a conditioned response that when I put my head in that hands, it's the best I ever feel. Okay? Any questions? I've talked a lot. It was 2 hours. Any questions? That's either really good or not good at all. So, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me go on and on for a couple hours. May the horse be with you. Thank you. Thank you.